Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 157th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. The team I'm in today consists of Brotherhood member Crimson Overlord, who's called himself CC here, but it is actually Brotherhood member Crimson Overlord, and he has bought the Rome SBQR faction. And then we have Brotherhood member Racer X, who has also bought the Rome SBQR faction. And then myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought the Rome Scipio faction. So there's our team there, full of experience, lots and lots of years of RTW experience there. But you wait till you see the other team. This game has a potential to be a classic battle. At this very early stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a look at our armies here. This is the biggest infantry army that I've got saved. I've got 15 infantry and 5 cavalry. There's no stripes on this infantry, so it's just a large amount of infantry for what I usually bring there. And then we have a look at Racer's army here. I think he's got 5 cavalry. 2 of them are hidden in the long grass. If you notice, he's got 2 archer units there. So he's got approximately 13 infantry there. And then we'll have a look at Crimson Overlord there. As you can see, he's only bought 4 cavalry. So it'll be interesting to see how that army does against the enemy here. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member TR. TR has been playing RTW for years and years, and has been a Brotherhood member for years as well. A very experienced player. And then we have Titan's Beast. He's called himself Stratagos here. Stratagos, I think is how you pronounce it, but it's actually Titan's Beast, and he has bought the Rome Julio faction. And then we have Titan's Odin, who has bought the Rome Brutio faction. So there's the other team there. As I say, looking at the both teams here, this has got the ingredients to be a classic battle, and I hope you enjoy it. At this very early stage of the battle here, you can see that the enemy Brutii infantry are doing a right flanking action here against our ally on the right flank there, which is Crimson Overlord. It's Titan's Odin there. It's doing a very aggressive right flanking action. Wouldn't surprise me if he carried on taking his infantry on round the right there. I think, as we know, the Titans clan are a very aggressive attacking clan. So seeing this this Titan's Odin here doing this aggressive flanking move is something to be expected. As I said, the Titans are an aggressive attacking clan. And as I said in other previous battles, if you're an attacking aggressive clan or a player, you tend to put the enemy on the back foot, and they have to kind of react to you. So nice attacking flanking move here by Odin. If you notice, just taking his cavalry on round as well, ready to support his infantry if needed. If you notice, his Titan's teammate there, Beast, with his Julii cavalry, are also ready to strike if needed. And also, if you notice, there's some Julii infantry moving over to this flank as well. As I said a little bit earlier, you can see that the enemy Brutii infantry are being extremely aggressive here with this flanking attack, this right flanking attack. And as you can see, the Julii cavalry are now moving over as well to support the flanking attack there.
They're being attacked! They're attacking us!
If you notice here, you can see the Julii cavalry, some of the Julii cavalry attacking the our allies' SBQR infantry there. If you notice that Titan's Beast has split his cavalry into 2 groups of 3. I think sometimes he tends to use his cavalry like that rather than a big group. As you can see here, the Brutii infantry are still attacking very aggressively here on our right. And if you notice that I'm just going to pause the game here for us to take stock of the situation. If you notice here that Racer's brought his SBQR cavalry out to the right, and if you notice that the Julii cavalry and infantry have moved out to the right to support their Brutii ally too. As I say, you can see how aggressive the enemy are being here on our right flank. But if you notice that we've brought our cavalry over as well to support our ally. And if you notice here that in the centre, it's a little bit quiet at the moment between the two armies, but both sides have sent reinforcements over to our right flank there to support their ally there. If you notice that the Brutii army there of TR is moving over, and if you notice pretty soon I think I'll be probably shadowing that army with my army there, just to make sure that wherever it lands up, my army will be facing it. So here's an overall picture of the battlefield, so you can get a good feel for how the battle's going there. As you can see, there's Julii infantry being brought out here to our right flank with cavalry support as well. That's to kind of blunt any cavalry hit that we might send in there. Obviously that infantry would blunt a cavalry hit, and then it's going to be backed up by its own cavalry. Right, can you see the enemy Brutii cavalry charging in there? 6 units of cavalry, and bang as that hits. And if you notice there, Crimson Overlord sent his cavalry in to counter attack that cavalry attack. And if you notice, I'm sending my Scipii cavalry in as well to help counter that attack. I'm just going to pause the game here for us to take stock of the situation and have a look at this central battle. Right, can you see the enemy Brutii force are attacking heavily? Can you see Racer is bringing in his infantry in from one flank to squeeze that Brutii infantry? Can you see we're attacking and counter-attacking with cavalry in the front? And also, if you notice, we're actually bringing in SBQR infantry on the left of that attack as well. So that Brutii attacking force is kind of in a little bit of a vice there. It's being kind of hit from 3 sides, the front and the 2 flanks. It's being squeezed. So it'll be interesting to see what actually happens there. If you notice that the enemy Julii cavalry are rushing over cavalry to support the centre as best they can. But as I say, that enemy attacking Brutii force in the centre seems to be being hit quite hard from 3 separate directions. We can see a lot of the attacking Brutii force now has been routed and is falling back. A lot of the Brutii, as you see, a lot of the Brutii units there are actually have been routed by our counter attacks there. If you notice that the army that was facing me, which was Brotherhood member TR's Brutii army, has now moved over to this right flank as well. And if you notice that I've shadowed his army with my army, if you notice my Scipii infantry are actually moving over, as I said, shadowing that the enemy Brutii infantry there. Remember, if you're actually new players watching this, if you're facing whatever army you're facing, if it moves, try and shadow, keep with it, because obviously if you stay in a position and that enemy army that was facing you was moved, then they're obviously going off to support their allies. So new players watching this, always shadow the army that you're facing so that you can support your allies as well where needed. Meanwhile, over on our left flank here, you can see that the enemy Julii infantry are still being aggressive and holding their ground there against our SBQR ally there. There's a general overview of the actual battlefield there, so you can actually see what's happening all over the battlefield there. You notice I'm moving my infantry more over to the right, shadowing the enemy Brutii army even more there. If you know, just facing them straight on now. As you can see over on our left flank, our allies' SPQR army is now attacking aggressively. And did you just see that the our allies' SPQR cavalry came out of the long grass as it attacked, and now is charging into the Julii attacking force over on our left flank there. If you notice, a lot of the enemy Julii force is starting to rout now with that cavalry hit. And if you notice, we're bringing our cavalry units over to this left flank now, probably with a view to try and break the enemy on this left flank if we can. Or at least if we can get our cavalry through that left flank and get cavalry in behind the engaged enemy infantry, that would be pretty good too. You see that their allies bringing over infantry now, so we decided to pull our cavalry back. As I say, when it comes to cavalry against infantry, if you're going to smash into infantry, smash into it and then pull out really quick, because cavalry against infantry, usually the infantry will win. So if you notice there, we pulled our cavalry back just to regroup and probably take stock of where we're going to hit next. Remember, just new players watching this, that the enemy are the green Brutii and the red Julii, and our allies are the purple SPQR and the blue Scipii. Right, just going to pause the game here for take stock of the situation. Can you see I've put a line of urban cohorts there, one unit there facing over to the right. Can you see the enemy Brutii cavalry there? And that unit I've put there just to blunt the attack if that cavalry comes in. Just to blunt it and slow it down to give me time to get more infantry over there if needed. And if you notice here at the front of the battle, in the central part of the battle there, you can see we're facing both Julii and Brutii infantry there. And over on the left flank you can see is quite aggressive there, with our SPQR ally attacking the Julii force in front of him there. So there's an overall view of the battlefield there, so you can actually see what's going on all over the place.
They're attacking us! They're attacking us! They're being attacked!
If you notice over on our left flank, our SPQR allies, I think both Crimson Overlord and Racer X are both attacking there on the left flank, stretching the what's left of the enemy infantry. If you see what we're doing, we're attacking on the left, stretching their infantry over to that left, trying to make the most of our superiority of cavalry that we've got at the moment, and infantry as well. Can you see I'm charging my Scipii cavalry? I'm going for the Brutii general. Do you remember what we said in other battle videos? If you kill the general, then his troops' morale will drop like a stone. If you notice there, I have now gone for that Brutii general, trying to kill him so that I will then cause him maneuver. Managed to kill him there, so the troops that he commanded, now their morale will drop. So that was kind of like a surgical strike, if you like, with my cavalry, just to take that general out, and it seemed to be lucky enough to work there. If you notice, I'm advancing with my my blue Scipii army there. My infantry is now advancing towards the enemy Brutii and Julii infantry there. And I've got my cavalry rallied and set, ready to hit when I think it's time to bring them in. If you notice now, I'm attacking quite aggressively with my Scipii infantry. What I'm trying to do is try and engage the enemy troops as much as I can. And of course, if I can engage them and then maybe smash in with my cavalry, then there's a good chance of us being able to rat a lot of their units. Right, can you see I'm now charging in with my Scipii cavalry? I'm going for the red general there. I'm going for the Julii general, trying to hit him, as I said before, trying to kill the general, lower the morale of the troops. I don't think I'm going to quite do it this time, so charged in, done as much damage as I could with my cavalry. Time to pull them out, rally them, get set, and ready to charge in again. Remember, every time you charge in, you get the full cavalry charge bonus. If you notice, I've got a lot of my infantry targeting that Julio General. Right, let's just pause the game and take stock of the situation at the moment. You see here, I've got a lot of my Scipio infantry attacking that Julio General here in the centre. Over on our left, can you see my SBQR allies are aggressively attacking the Brutii army over on our left flank there. And if you notice, my Scipio army is still in the centre, and I've got cavalry out to the right. So there's a general view of the picture, overall picture of the battlefield there. Let's see what happens next. Right, can you see that the Julio General has just admitted defeat there? He didn't have a lot of troops left, and I think he could see the writing was on the wall there. You could see my Scipio infantry closing in. My cavalry were ready to hit, so he decided to admit defeat there. If you notice now, I'm taking my Scipio infantry into the rear of the enemy Brutii army there. And if you notice, I'm bringing my cavalry over at the same time. So now the Brutii, the enemy Brutii army are kind of caught in a sandwich between my SBQR allies and my own blue Scipii infantry and cavalry there. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Brutii army started to rout pretty soon there. And bang! As Racer's cavalry hits there. Lots of cavalry charge bonus went in there, and as you can see, the last of the enemy enemy units are starting to rout there. I think there's just a couple of enemy archer units left now, and it looks like we've managed to go on to win the battle. You can see it was only a 3v3 battle, but it was a very intense battle. You can see there's fighting from one side of the battlefield to the other there, with big piles of dead at certain parts of the battlefield. As I say, it was very intense, and I think it was a really good battle to fight in. This battle was fought a couple of months ago now. Right, the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game. I thought the enemy team were extremely aggressive and attacking with some good strategic moves. So really well done to Odin, Beast and TR there. I thought they played extremely well. And I'd like to say really well played to my teammates Racer X and Crimson Overlord. I thought start off with their defense, their support of each other, and then actually their aggressive attacking moves as well maybe proved pivotal to the actual battle here. So really well done to Racer and Crimson there. And as I said, really well done to Odin, Beast and TR. Just say if you like the battle, please subscribe to our channel. You will then be automatically informed when the next battle is ready to watch, and you won't miss any of the action. This is Spartan Commander saying hope you enjoyed the battle. I look forward to seeing you soon, and bye for now.